You know, they say that League of Legends is incredibly toxic, but I have to say, I've started playing Riftbound, the League of Legends TCG, and I have not met a toxic person yet. I am so happy with this game. I am having an absolute blast. Riftbound is awesome, and I'm really excited to be on board this TCG journey. TCG is new to me, but it's really fun to be on the train of something basically brand new that is really, I think, wonderful and exciting because it connects me more to League of Legends. It connects me more to the music and the lore and the landscape of this wonderful IP without having to necessarily play the game on PC, where I know that a lot of supposed toxicity resides. It's been really fun to dive into Riftbound, and I've had nothing but wonderful interactions with people. Honestly, it's been so supportive, and really people online and people in person just want to help you and get you to play better so that they can play more. It's great. And so today what I want to do, my name is Marco. I'm a former pro opera singer, and I love talking about video game music from an emotional perspective. I want to crash through a bunch of themes, login screen themes about these characters, just listen to their music and kind of get a sense of who they are. If you're new to the channel, this is a series I've done for many years where I focus on characters and talk about their backstory and explore their backstory. Today we're going back to basics and just listening to music and talking about characterization within music, just so I can hear a little bit more about what these characters are and what they represent. So let's go to my favorite now, Pike the Blood Harbor Ripper. I've listened to this before. You can find it on the channel here. However, I'm going to go ahead and listen to it again because it's been a minute. It's really cool to envision this card and listen to this theme. I really love the momentum in this piece. It starts kind of quiet and it builds up, and it's interesting because as it's building, we really get the sense that Pike is a guy that's been pushed to the absolute brink, right? Like he's got that list of names that he wants to go after and hunt down because of how they wronged and betrayed him. He'll stop at nothing to get his way. And so it's interesting how we get that sense, especially because we know that he, if I recall correctly, he drowns and he loses his life. And so he comes back to life for whatever reason. And then in this particular track, you hear how he's not human anymore. He's not a person of the world. He's twisted and turned and malicious and dangerous. It's a really interesting and satisfying momentum that this theme has, coupled with those really sharp string distortions, which make him feel otherworldly and scary. And it's really excellently done. Right there, yeah. It's amazing when it really picks up. There's a sharpness in that really sends home the idea that like he is furious. It's also sad, and there's a little bit of dejection in that sound, a little bit of like, how did this happen? There's almost disgust in it. There's anger, there's agitation, there's an unwillingness to bend. There's really the Blood Harbor Ripper harboring immense pain and anger towards his assailants. Love that tremolo string in there. That's so cool. And then this tension right there, right? I find it interesting that right there we actually ba-da-da-ya-da. Obviously it's pain, it's minor, it's agitated, it's angry, it's anxious, but it's also almost kind of enthusiastic and excited. And there's a bit of like, I'm going to see this through, I'm going to see this done. And I really, really like that. And then this part we pull back and it's that fading underwater sound. Like as if he's like swimming to the surface. He can see the twinkling sunset. A lot of that minor and dissonant strings in the background there. He emerges out of the water, right? You see him kind of slowly walking towards the coast. 3 feet of water. He bathes himself in the night sun. The night moon, rather. Yeah, as he makes his way. I mean, Pike is awesome, and honestly, this Chaos and Fury deck, I've been really struggling to find a particular class of Legend that I wanted to play. A specific champion is really hard because there's a lot out there now, and trying to make decisions about like what's good, what's not good, what's fun, what's meta, what's not meta, so on and so forth. It was really kind of a struggle, but I landed on Pike, and I've been really happy with how he plays. It's pretty aggressive, and it's cool because it actually like kind of lends itself to Pike's character. Like there's a bit of that, sort of black magic, chaos and fury that really plays into it. The other characters that I haven't heard actually yet is Diana, and Diana's extremely popular right now, extremely in the meta. I don't know Diana, but I really, really enjoy her card, and there's a little bit of weirdness with the green screen, but I wanted to listen to her theme now and try to decipher a little bit about her just from the music alone. This is Diana, Scorn of the Moon. I love the low strings.
Ask not
Oh.
the sun, why she sends.
So, I've listened to a bunch of League themes over the last years that I've had this YouTube channel, and I've actually never heard a piece, or maybe I have and I can't remember. I've never heard a piece that features a female soloist like this. We've had Ornn, we've had chorus, we've had, other kinds of sounds, but I've never heard like this sort of really poised, still, ask not, very still. Obviously, right away, I get the sense that she's like a moon knight or some sort of an elf moon. I don't know, she's fueled by the moon or something, or an eclipse or what have you. It's interesting because this is very much a warrior's theme, right? It's poised. It's elegant. It's clearly feminine. It's got grace to it, but it's also kind of dangerous. We have the low strings that are really sustaining that throughout at the very beginning of this. The singing kind of comes out of nowhere, which is really stark and impactful, and it makes us feel like, who am I looking at? There's almost a sense of reverence in it, right? It's beautiful because it's also kind of dialed back. Let me keep going.
Why she shrouds her light.
Beautiful. Slightly muffled, slightly pulled back.
Why she hides her glowing gaze when night turns crimson gold to gray.
It's almost an invocation to prayer.
Falls the guilty sun as day to dark does turn. One simple truth she dare not speak. Her light can only blind and burn.
Her light can only blind and burn. No mercy for the guilty. Wow. Gorgeous. That's ferocious. You notice how in this wow. The dawn will never rise again. You know, it's amazing to me that they created this track that is so poised, it looks like this, right? It's like an eclair. You ever had a chocolate eclair? Inside is all the cream and all the filling, and that's where all the meat is, right? Like there's this amazing feel. I don't know what the point of me talking about an eclair was. I'm sorry. It's irrelevant. I guess I'm hungry. There's this poise in that. It's very stable. It almost feels like as she's preparing to enter into the battlefield and enter into her world of combat, she sits there and she literally sings this out loud, and she's essentially saying a prayer or singing a hymn to her victims, to her enemies, to her would-be assailants as they are, cut down. There's an incredible sense of confidence in that piece. It's very still and very, I think, very mindful. It's almost like a meditation, right? It feels very in line with, one of these beautiful scenes from, say, "Oh, mist behind a world ahead, and there are many miles to go, cold shadow through the end of night." From Lord of the Rings there, Return of the King, that Pippin sings. There's the sound in it of mournful melancholy, almost as if there's a bit of shame or certainly a bit of regret at what must be done. But what must be done, and that's the way it is. And so there's a lot of poise in that. There's a lot of elegance. I hear that, and certainly it's reflected even in this card, just her stature and poise and strength of mind and strength of will. She's very tenacious with her really stark white hair, and she's scary. Also because her ability is to spend energy only during showdowns, which is really interesting. So it essentially, she adds an energy and there's like power during a combat, which is really cool. Master Yi is one of the cards that people think are really good for beginners, as far as I understand. He's a bit of a ramper, and so the green screen's going to totally jack that up, so it's pointless. But all that to say, he's green and orange, which is all about like strength, and ramping, which is to build up as many rune points as possible, rune energy, and then use it on big units and really decimating your opponent. His particular ability is your units have +1 might when you have XP +6 XP, and then level 11 your units enter ready, which means that they can immediately go to the battlefield and start a conflict and conquer the battlefield against your opponents, which is very powerful and very scary. So I don't know if this is accurate to him or not, but this is a Project Master Yi login. I'm curious to hear what this sounds like. This will be an unbelievable track for the gym. Now, obviously, this is a very different, in this particular card that you can't see, he's much more of a humanoid, whereas in this particular login screen for Project Master Yi, this is an alternate skin or something, and he clearly is more cybernetic in this particular login screen that I'm listening to here. But it doesn't matter, because I think it's kind of interesting to hear this, because there's obviously a synthetic quality about him. There's a lot of poise in this, of course, much like Diana, but the difference is that this is much more vicious and much more aggro, much more prone to aggression and prone to being efficient. You know, it's less religious and less special and much more like murder by numbers and damage by numbers. There's a sort of ferocity that comes within that, in that wonderful rhythm that really, I think, makes Project Master Yi in this case sound really menacing and foreboding, but through action rather than through like what's going to happen when you encounter him. There's a sort of ferocity in it that's really satisfying to listen to, right? Oh, wow. Super interesting. See, and I think like it's interesting because like when the chorus comes in like that, there's reverence in it. You know what I mean? Like there's a studied person. I don't know anything about Master Yi, the Wuju master, but there's this degree of poise that's present in that sound. Adding the chorus is almost like this is like a holier than that possible individual. This is an individual with great stature who you can't help but look at, regardless of whatever skin or form he has. And you look at him and you say, wow, like this is a guy that is extremely proficient. There's almost this sense of wonder in that, almost as if the mask comes off or you see the man in the suit. And it's really like, wow, you know, it's very inspired. And then obviously in this particular rendition, you get some of that cybernetic crunch. It's actually shocking because the first half is so movement focused. It's almost like he's coming alive, you know? This is waking up music. Now, of course, that's a Project Disruption skin that gets that login theme. Let me just check really quickly if Master Yi also gets a regular theme. I'm not, but let's check out this Champion Spotlight just for the sake of it.
Rated T for teen. Master Yi is an incredibly mobile assassin who excels in the jungle and in solo lanes. Selects a target, dashing between him and the
okay, so Master Yi is very old because there's like
three other nearby. While dashing, Master Yi disappears from view and becomes untargetable. So careful timing allows him to dodge abilities and attack.
All right, well, that's probably as good as it's gonna get. I mean, it's very interesting, you know, because obviously, like, he's a character that has tons of poise and is very focused and determined, and I think that comes through also in his play style too. You know, he's strong and he's fearless, and he won't ever back down, which is interesting because it's totally different than say Diana, who's much more poised and elegant in her actions. But there's also a little bit of gravitas in that that's really impressive. One of the other cards that I really like that I'm working on a build right now that I think goes really well with Pike is actually Draven. This is Draven Showboat. My might is increased by your points. So the more points you have, the more damage Draven here does. He of course comes in, he's a 5 cost, but he has 3 might. So let's say you had 5 points and you were winning, you would then add 5 points to this, which makes him kind of tricky, a tricky little customer. But I wanted to take a listen to this. This is Draven the Glorious Executioner. Yeah. Okay, so amazingly, first of all, the art really tells you a lot about this character, first of all, so let's take a look at that. Obviously, disregard the green screen stuff. So what's interesting to me about Draven is that he's a showboat, right? And it even says showboat. He's Noxus. So he has a real smarmy attitude about him, and it's interesting because he also takes no shit. And it's cool because in the music you hear that right away. There's a bit of attitude in there, but also there's confidence because, well, who's going to stop him? Nobody. You know what I mean? Heavy percussion. There's shouting his name. He must be like some... That's crazy. That's interesting because the cello represents Draven, but also like there's a lot going on. Hold on, I'm gonna rewind a little bit. Yeah, I think that the cello throughout that really represents Draven and this poise that he has, and he's kind of crazy. You hear in the music too, like he's a little bit unhinged, and he kind of just enjoys the fight. He enjoys the kill. He enjoys the chase. He enjoys the hunt. He reminds me a little bit of Kraven the Hunter, to be honest. There's this sort of brutality in him and in this music, and I think he's celebrated in Noxus as someone who will destroy you and wreck you, and I think that they really like that in Noxus. And there's this sort of danger that, or Noxia or whatever it's called, there's this danger within Draven where you want to kind of avoid him. That's really interesting, and it's super short, but while not necessarily the most impactful piece, I think it does a great job of really showcasing what this character is all about. There's danger within him, and it's really satisfying to listen to. And it's this and the Master Yi track are 2 tracks that I would absolutely love to play at the gym just while lifting heavy things. This was just a very tiny sampler of, I think, my newfound interest in League of Legends, but also thankfully it looks like copyright is no longer an issue for League videos, so expect to go back to our champion theme listens that we've had previously. The reason why I couldn't do them for so long is that there was some changes over at Riot, and I wasn't able to get access to certain things because of copyright claims that were coming in. But also with this newfound and fun desire to play more Riftbound and to explore Riftbound, it's really made me more interested in the lore and in the world, which I think is awesome. I don't necessarily have time to pick up or learn League of Legends as much as I want to, and I'm not really worried about actual toxicity because, like, you know, I was born in the mines of Call of Duty lobbies, kind of. But even still, it's fun to explore a world that is clearly made with so much passion. And it definitely seems like Riftbound is made with tons of passion from the team at Riot. And so I'm really excited about this. And yeah, it's really nice to have League back on the channel. And I hope you enjoyed looking at these awesome cards, but also, yeah, listening to some music. Definitely going to be more of this in this series for sure. Thanks a ton, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.